So we're going to show you how we go about engraving a wooden spoon at Big Dog V. The first thing we'll do is we'll talk about how we go about prepping the actual spoon itself, show you how we create the template that we use to pull into the GlowForge to actually do the engraving. The steps I take to create the template. The software I use happens to be Adobe Illustrator, but it can be any vector diagram program, or vector drawing program, I should say, that will output to SVG files, which is compatible for upload into the GlowForge. So there are a couple of freeware drawing programs that will output vector diagrams into SVG file format. Now, once we create our template, I will go into the GlowForge software itself, upload our diagram that we created, and then run through the engraving process. A couple different steps that we need to follow, but you'll see all that. And then once we have the engraving, pull it out, we're done. Might have to do some post engraving cleanup, but you should have a pretty good product by then. If you like what you see here today, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll be putting out more videos over the next couple of months.
I start off by using 240 grit sandpaper. I use a detail sander myself, but whatever sander you have available will work just fine. Then I sand the wooden spoon, every side, top, bottom, and both sides. Once I'm done with that, I take some isopropyl alcohol, at least 91%, and use it to wipe off all the residue. Once I've completed that, I take a picture, make sure I have the full length of the spoon in there. And then after I've taken the picture, then I use the ruler to get the exact length of the spoon. My next step is to then take it and see what cardboard templates I can use for the cutouts. I then take the picture of the spoon and bring it into Adobe Illustrator, and I crop it down to the width and length of the spoon. Now, once I've done that, I set it to the length that I measured on the ruler and keep it linked so that the width expands correspondingly. Then I take the pen tool and I outline the shape of the spoon. Doesn't have to be exact, just give you a general idea of the surface area you have available to engrave on. And don't forget the circular cutout. Make sure you mark that off. Now, once I remove the picture, what I have left is the outline of the spoon to include the circular cutout, and then I put in whatever text or graphic that I want to have engraved on the spoon. That's why it's nice to have the circular cutout in there, so you make sure you don't put something in over that area. And as you can see here, I've got my text and my graphic that I've resized to fit within the outline. I then place my cardboard template, or my cardboard sheet that I'm going to use as my template, tape it into place inside the GlowForge. And then from within GlowForge, I go in on the dashboard and I tell it I want to upload my design. And I upload the design that I'd saved into an SVG file. I place it onto the cardboard. And then I make sure I resize it to match the dimensions that I had measured. It always pays to double check it. So at this point, I'm telling it to ignore the first two elements, the text and the graphic, and I tell it to score the actual spoon outline. That leaves the marks on the cardboard template where I know exactly where to place the spoon for engraving. And you can see here it's doing its job. Now that I've got it completely scored, I'll then place the spoon in there, making sure it's within the score marks. Tape it into place so it doesn't move. Where you place the tape doesn't really matter as long as it's not anywhere that you intend to engrave. Now don't worry about the template being a little bit off from what you see inside the GlowForge app. As long as you put it in the score area, you're going to be fine. And in this case, I changed my material to basswood. That has appeared to work out best for me. And once I've done that, I switch over and I tell it to engrave both the text and the graphic that I selected, and I begin the print job. And now that the print job is done, I take everything out of the GlowForge. You'll see some scorch marks on there potentially, but that's okay. Go back to the alcohol and you can use that to essentially just wipe that off and you're done.
So now that you've seen the process, this is the final product that you get. This is my name here written in Korean and just a graphic of a steaming pot that I put together. So I did clean it up with a little bit of alcohol to get rid of the scorch marks that you saw in the video, but it turned out pretty good. So again, if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe, and hope to see you again on my next video. I think that's good. You think that's good? I think that's good. I hope that's good.